Welcome to my show, 5 Minute Flash Points, with your host, Tio Uncle VR. This show is a race to get all my points in 5 minutes or less. Quite honestly, it's always a little more. So let's go. Our subject today will be a review of New York Jets weekly news in a flash. On to point number 5. Fashanu at right tackle. Fashanu spent the first 3 weeks of camp working exclusively at left tackle, his natural position. They wanted him to get comfortable there before introducing him to the right side. Last week, he spent the entire week at right tackle. Against the Panthers, Fashanu allowed only one pressure in 16 pass blocking snaps per ESPN. Saleh said, "I thought he did a nice job. He handled it well. That first practice he was at right tackle was pretty rough for him, and I thought he'd get better as the week went on." Fashanu stated, "For the casual football fan, it may seem like moving from left tackle to right tackle is no big deal, but explain how awkward it can feel. I think it's definitely like a feeling thing. You're always used to being in a staggered stance with your left foot back, and now you switch to the right. At times it can feel like a completely different thing. It's a bit weird, but the more reps you get, the better it feels eventually." Olu knows that being able to play either spot is going to help him in his young career. "It's just going to help me in the long run for my career to be versatile and being able to play multiple positions." On to my next point, number 4. Tyrod Taylor. Last year, the New York Jets were deprived of a decent backup quarterback in their slog to a 7-10 season. This year, Joe Douglas addressed this issue by signing veteran Tyrod Taylor. In training camp on Tuesday, Aaron Rodgers was given a rest day, which gave the quarterback reins to Tyrod, and he did not disappoint in leading the team. With all of the notable starters held out of a joint practice, Tyrod Taylor was crisp while getting the primary reps, going an efficient 8 for 10. I think it's safe to say that we have really, really good insurance going into the 2024 season. A veteran who is quite arguably a starter for many teams in the NFL. This just shows me that Joe Douglas is all in this year and is leaving no stone unturned in preparation for the upcoming season. On to point number 3. Robert Saleh and a tough training camp. Aaron Rodgers labeled this year the hardest training camp he's been through in the past several years of his career. Many of his teammates said the same. Robert Saleh stated that he meant it that way. He said the camp should not be a country club style situation and that players need to be ready to play football. "We've made an effort to be more efficient at how we work on the day-to-day because our workload is significantly more this year than it's been in the past. I think it's very beneficial anytime you can practice playing football because you get better at playing football. And I think our guys have responded awesome to it. I think they're starting to feel the difference in how important all these reps have been, and they're leaving joint practices feeling more and more confident." Well, let's hope this translates to less injuries and better preparation going into the 2024 season for the New York Jets. And on to point number 2. Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson hauled in 2 deep touchdown passes from Aaron Rodgers, totaling about 125 yards during Wednesday's joint practice with the Giants in Florham Park. After, Rodgers connected with Wilson for the highlight of the practice, placing a perfect deep ball down the left sideline, which Wilson hauled in for 55 yards. Rodgers ran down the field to meet Garrett as fans packing the bleachers unleashed a thunderous "Jets, Jets, Jets" chant. which reverberated all through Florham Park. The next period, Rodgers and Wilson connected on a pair of chunk plays. 5 plays later, Wilson made a sliding catch over the middle for a first down. Garrett Wilson has been the player, in my opinion, with the best improvement in this camp. And that is saying a lot considering 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard campaigns. Due to Aaron Rodgers being a force multiplier, you will see Garrett Wilson ascend to being a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. Clip it and book it. Finally, last but certainly not least, the New York Jets record prediction. I'm going to go into short detail regarding my schedule prediction, and my prediction is the Jets will go 12-5 this season with the AFC East championship. Now, I'm just going to go over the teams that I think we will lose to in the 2024 season, starting with the first loss. The San Francisco 49ers. First game, away game, nationally televised game. The fact is, it will be Aaron Rodgers' first game back from injury, and history dictates that the defense is faster than the offense. The San Francisco 49ers are the defending NFC champions from last year, and it's a tough first game to swallow, and in my opinion, unfortunately, a loss. The next game, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The New York Jets have a 7-18 record against the Steelers all time, not including 0-2 in the playoffs. Just not a great matchup, and it's a road game. Third loss of the season on the schedule that I think will be against the Houston Texans. Now, we won this game last year, but it was a sloppy game with the Texans dealing with many key injured players. Add Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs and a DeMeco Ryans defense, not to mention that they were a playoff team last year, which I think results in a Jets loss. And the fourth loss in this season, in my opinion, will be against the Miami Dolphins in this particular game, which is an away game. Now, the Dolphins swept us last year with the away game being a 30-0 drubbing. I think we split, and this is the one that we lose down in Miami. And finally, the last game on the schedule, which I think will result in a loss, is against the Buffalo Bills at Buffalo. Again, we split with the Buffalo Bills last year, and I think we match up doing the same thing this year, splitting the 2 games, and this is the one that I pick, losing on the road against the Bills, that we will lose. Please know that I use sources from material like the New York Post and NewYorkJets.com for all of my flashpoints, and I just want to take this time to give them some credit. Please like and subscribe, and if you enjoy the content on this channel, please feel to tip us. And you can find our information on our YouTube channel at the 411 on New York Sports in the description. The QR code is at the top of this video. Please check out our other shows like the 411 on New York Sports with Johnny Boy and myself, Tio Uncle VR. This concludes my time, and as I sign off, have a great day, and always remember, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist. And just like that, he was gone.